Meghan and Andrew were entangled long before she ever laid eyes on Harry, and yes, I nearly lost my composure watching her sweep into the royal fold. Frankly, I'm relieved the truth is finally spilling into daylight.
Deep within the dim, echoing corridors of Windsor Castle, where mysteries have lingered for generations, a single interview unsettled the calm that the British monarchy had tried so carefully to preserve. It was a fog-laden evening in late autumn when Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, sat for what was expected to be an ordinary discussion about her current projects. Yet, once the cameras began recording, her tone cut sharply through the silence, hinting at tensions and long-buried truths that caught the country off guard. She spoke with a mixture of exhaustion and determination, subtly referencing past connections and overlapping relationships within the royal circle, details that, even without explicit confirmation, triggered a wave of speculation. Within hours, headlines erupted, social media dissected every phrase, and a familiar storm began to gather around the House of Windsor. Sarah, long regarded as the outspoken royal outsider who never fully escaped the gravity of the monarchy, seemed to choose her timing with purpose. In recent months, she had faced financial pressures, mounting professional setbacks, and the persistent public fallout surrounding her former husband, Prince Andrew. Reports circulated that major American networks were courting her for a high-stakes tell-all interview, with offers climbing into the six-figure range, especially following her eviction from Royal Lodge. Against this backdrop, her sudden candor appeared less accidental and more like a calculated step toward reclaiming her narrative. As clips from the interview spread across platforms like X, online commentators pored over every gesture and every pause. Some drew parallels to historic royal crises, others fueled ongoing speculation surrounding various members of the family. The interview ignited discussions about transparency, accountability, and the complex web of relationships, real or rumored, that have shadowed the royal institution for decades. Many of these rumors, particularly those tying certain royals to controversial figures, have thrived more in tabloids, fringe forums, and social media than in verified reporting. Credible outlets have stressed that no evidence supports many sensational claims often repeated online. Yet the persistence of such narratives illustrates how easily speculation can overwhelm fact, especially in an era where viral content often outpaces responsible journalism. The emotional toll of this environment has been evident. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, who stepped back from official royal duties partly because of media mistreatment, have repeatedly confronted false narratives and intrusive commentary. Meghan has taken legal action against defamatory stories in the past, while Harry has spoken openly about the harm caused by exaggerated or fabricated claims. Amid this chaos, Sarah Ferguson's own history, her 1990s scandals, her financial troubles, and even her past associations that resurfaced in the press, gave her statements a layered, almost confessional tone. She has often expressed empathy toward Meghan, noting the similarities in their treatment by the press, though their relationship has not been free from moments of tension or public scrutiny. Her recent health challenges, including treatment for breast cancer and malignant melanoma, have also influenced her outlook. These experiences appear to have intensified both her vulnerability and her resolve, fueling her desire to speak more openly, even at the risk of unsettling deeply rooted royal protocols. The history of the British monarchy shows that personal scandals have always threatened institutional stability. From Henry VIII's turbulent marriages to the abdication of Edward VIII and the media storms surrounding Princess Diana, the institution has repeatedly been forced to adapt. Modern crises, from Prince Andrew's legal controversies to the Sussexes' conflicts with the media, fit into this larger pattern of public pressure testing royal resilience. Yet even amid turmoil, figures like Catherine, Princess of Wales, have become symbols of steadiness. Through her focus on mental health advocacy, early childhood development, and community support, she has helped redirect public attention toward constructive issues. Her quiet gestures, supporting charities, fostering unity within the family, and maintaining dignity during periods of intense scrutiny, have strengthened the monarchy's public image in ways that contrast sharply with the chaos around her. As the latest wave of public reaction ripples outward, the monarchy finds itself at a crossroads. Online debates rage, with some defending Meghan against unverified accusations while others demand greater institutional transparency. Polls suggest that public trust in the royal family, particularly among younger generations, is becoming increasingly fragile. Sarah's interview, regardless of interpretation, has forced a renewed examination of how much the monarchy can endure and how much it must evolve. The line between truth, rumor, and narrative has grown increasingly blurred. As royal aides brace for potential fallout and scholars analyze the historical precedents, the future direction of the House of Windsor remains uncertain. And so, questions arise. Was Sarah's timing intentional or simply inevitable? Can the royal family rebuild credibility in an era of instant global scrutiny? Does Catherine truly represent a sustainable path forward for the monarchy? Only time will reveal how this chapter reshapes the evolving story of the British crown. In the days that followed Sarah Ferguson's unexpected remarks, London seemed to hum with a strange, restless tension. Newspapers filled their front pages with shadowed photographs, half-decoded quotes, and expert speculation. Commentators described the moment as a crack in the palace walls, small, but impossible to ignore. Within Windsor's private chambers, aides moved quickly, their voices hushed, their steps deliberate. The monarchy had weathered countless storms, but this one felt different. It was not a single event, but the culmination of decades of unresolved conflicts, whispered resentments, and ever-tightening scrutiny from a global audience hungry for answers. Sarah herself kept an unusually low profile after the interview, avoiding public events and declining follow-up appearances. Some believed she was negotiating with broadcasters behind closed doors, weighing the risks and rewards of revealing more. Others suggested she was facing internal pressure, subtle or otherwise, to remain silent. No one knew for certain. What was clear, however, was that she had unlocked a door the royal family preferred to keep firmly shut. Meanwhile, the online world split into factions. Supporters of Meghan argued passionately that the recurring attention on her was often rooted in misinformation, amplified by years of media hostility. They pointed to Meghan and Harry's repeated statements about misreporting and intrusive coverage, claims that had been validated in several legal cases. Opposing voices insisted the Duchess of Sussex had introduced unprecedented turbulence into the monarchy. Yet these arguments often relied more on emotion than verified fact, showing how polarized the conversation had become. As debates escalated, royal historians were called into studios, tasked with explaining how the monarchy had survived past crises. They compared this moment to the fallout after Diana's Panorama interview, to the abdication in 1936, even to Victorian-era scandals buried under layers of official secrecy. One historian noted that the monarchy's endurance depended not on perfection, but on adaptability. But adaptability, she added, requires honesty, and honesty is often the palace's most reluctant currency. Catherine, Princess of Wales, found herself once again at the center of public attention, not because of scandal, but because of contrast. Her consistent poise, her quiet work on early childhood development, and her ability to maintain a bridge between the monarchy and the public had earned her a reputation as the family's stabilizing force. Yet even she was not untouched by the storm. Commentators pointed out that every royal, no matter how poised, eventually feels the strain of a legacy that demands both silence and visibility in equal measure. Behind palace gates, advisors debated strategy. Some urged transparency, acknowledge tensions, address public concerns, and recalibrate for a modern world. Others insisted that the monarchy's strength lay in restraint and timeless distance from everyday politics and media cycles. The king, according to insiders, weighed both sides carefully. The crown's future, after all, depended on how the institution adapted to an era where information, real or fabricated, moved faster than tradition. Meanwhile, whispers grew louder that Sarah's interview might be only the beginning. Rumors swirled about unpublished memoir chapters, unrecorded conversations, and documents long sealed away in private collections. Whether these whispers were grounded in reality or were simply the public's hunger for drama was impossible to determine. But one thing was certain. The monarchy stood on the edge of another significant turning point. Would this be remembered as a minor tremor, just another episode in a long royal history? Or would it mark the beginning of a deeper unraveling, pushing the institution toward long-delayed change? Only the unfolding story would tell. And Britain, along with much of the world, was watching with breath held and curiosity sharpened.